everybody, my name is Naomi and I work for the Institute of Urban Ecology at Douglas College. Now that's kind of a funny job title. What do the words urban ecology mean? Well, the word urban means a place where people live, just like here where you live. And the word ecology is a type of science that studies how all the living and non-living things in an area interact. Now we call these areas ecosystems. So my job is really special because I get to come and work with people just like you and raise awareness about the nature in our cities. And now today, we're all going to be scientists. You are going to be ecologists, and you're going to get to go outside and explore your own urban ecosystem and all the living and non-living things that you share it with. Now, scientists, I'm going to be asking you a lot of questions, and if you don't know the answer, that's okay. Just try to give it your best guess, and we'll go over all the answers later together as well. Teachers, if you need to pause the video at any time, feel free to do so if you want to give your students more time to think or brainstorm. And students, if you're following along at home, I encourage you to do the same. So to follow along, all you're going to need is a pencil, an eraser, and a copy of this handbook. And now if you're working from home and you don't have this handbook, that's totally okay. A blank sheet of lined paper will work just as well. So if you need a moment now to get your supplies ready, go ahead and pause the video and then we'll come back and get started. Okay, scientists, I'm going to start off with a really tricky question. So again, don't worry if you get it right or wrong, just give it your best guess. Now teachers, if your class is still working on their writing skills, you might want to write their ideas down on the board for them. But are you ready? Here it is. How can you tell if something is living? Again, don't worry if you're going to be right or wrong. We're going to go over this list together as a group. So right now, just pause the video and write down all your best guesses. Okay, before we go over the correct answers, let's play a little guessing game first, but keep your list out because we will go over that next. So I'm going to show you some pictures of some things that you've probably seen in your urban ecosystem before, and I want you to guess whether it is a living thing or a non-living thing. If you have this handbook, you can circle the correct answer in the book, and if not, that's fine. You can still play along. So are you ready? Let's get started. Ready? Here's your first picture. This is a salmon. Is it living or non-living? The salmon is living. Very good. So if you have a booklet, you can circle the correct answer. Ready for the next one? How about this bee? Is it living or non-living? The bee is also living. Very good. How about the flowers? Are these living or non-living? Living, that's right. And these trees, are they living or non-living? The trees are also living. Very good. How about these juice boxes? Are they living or non-living? Non-living, very good. Next we have a picture of a house. Is this living or non-living? Non-living, that's right. And how about this car? Is this living or non-living? Non-living, very good. Now those were some pretty easy pictures. Next I'm going to show you some trickier ones. Are you ready for level 2? Let's get started. The water in this stream, is it living or non-living? Water is non-living. Very good. Yes, that's a tricky one. How about these salmon eggs? Are they living or non-living? They are living. Very good. Now here's a picture of a teddy bear, and it has eyes and ears and a nose just like us, but is it living or non-living? Non-living, very good. And ooh, here's a really tough one. This tree stump, is this living or non-living? Believe it or not, this tree stump is still considered a living thing by scientists, because while it was living at one point and death is just a natural part of the life cycle. So even if something is dead now, but it used to be living, like the stump or even the falling leaves, scientists like us still consider these living things. Okay, I think you're getting the hang of it now, and I've got 2 more really tricky ones for you. Are you ready for level 3? Let's get started. How about the air in our urban ecosystem? Is the air living or non-living? Non-living, very good. And how about these rocks? Are they living or non-living? The rocks are also non-living, very good. Now, if you're working with one of these booklets, I want you to carefully tear all the pages apart so that they're all separated from each other. And I want you to put all the living things in one pile and all the non-living things in another pile. And now if you're working from home and you don't have this booklet, that's okay. I'll do the same thing for you on the computer screen here. So pause the video now and take a moment to organize all your living things and non-living things from your booklet. Okay, scientists, now I have an even harder task for you to complete. Before we get started, make sure that your science brains are all warmed up and ready to go. If you need a minute to pause the video and go run around outside or jump up and down or do whatever your teacher asks you to do to get warmed up, go ahead and pause the video now, and then we'll come back and tackle our next challenge. All right, are your brains activated? Here we go. I want you to take a look at the list that you made at the beginning of the video, and I want you to look at your piles that you've just made of all the living and non-living things. Now, on that list you made, I only want to have the things that are true for all living things. So as you're looking at these piles that you just made, these pictures, and you see something that doesn't belong, I want you to cross it off the list. And then maybe while you're looking through this, you might think of something that you forgot the first time around, and then you can add it in as well. So for example, let's say that your list included brains. You said that all living things have brains. Now, this is true for us and the fish and even the bee. But how about the plants? Do they have brains? No, plants don't have brains, but they are still a living thing. So I'm gonna have to cross brains off my list. Now I'll give you a clue before you get started. You should only have 4 things remaining on your list. And again, if you don't have all 4, don't worry, we'll go over all the answers together next. But pause the video now and take as long as you need to give it your very, very best guess. All right, are you ready for the answers? The 4 things that you should have on your list that are true for all living things is 1, all living things grow or change. 2, all living things need air to breathe. 3, all living things reproduce. And 4, all living things need food and water to stay alive. All right, so now that you know the answers, let's play one more round of the guessing game. How about this bug spray? Is this living or non-living? Non-living, very good. How about this smoke? Is this living or non-living? Non-living, good. And this pop bottle, is it living or non-living? Non-living. Very good. So now you're all basically like scientific experts on all things that are living and non-living. So before I go, I want to ask you one more expert question. What do you think is more important to our urban ecosystems, the living or the non-living things? The answer is both. The living and the non-living things are so tightly connected, and that's what urban ecology is all about. Animals like us need clean air to breathe and clean water to drink, and air and water are both non-living things, and sometimes other non-living things can pollute them or make them dangerous to the plants and animals that need them to survive. We also need trees because the trees make the oxygen that we breathe, and we also depend on a lot of other plants for food as well. And now some other non-living things like these bug sprays and pollution, they can hurt the plants as well as the animals that live there. There are so many ways all the living and non-living things interact. It would be impossible to count them all. Before I go, I just wanted to say thank you for joining me today and helping to protect our urban ecosystems. Now your teacher's gonna have a fun activity for you to do next, but while you're working, I want you to keep thinking about those interactions between the living and non-living things in your urban ecosystem. Maybe you'll think of something that we haven't talked about yet, and that's great because the more we learn about our urban ecosystems, the better we'll be able to protect them. So once again, thank you very much, everyone, and until next time, bye for now.